Positive, feel-good radio. This is E-Radio.
It is time for Greatness Coaching with Heidi M right here on Air E-Radio on a Wednesday at 2 o'clock. And today, thank you for this. This was a listener suggestion. We're talking about toxic family members and how to live with them. Heidi, hello.
Hello, Ian. Hi. Yes, very important topic today. Very important topic. And I think, many people, I want to say the majority of society can actually relate. We have this family member, yes, the toxicity that rears its ugly head when you least expect it and when you most expect it. Yeah, it seems to be relentless. Yes. So my first thought when we said we're going to talk about this today, and how to deal with them is this: check that you are not the toxic one. I would say first and foremost, just check yourself out and check that you are not perhaps that toxic family member. Because, we often want to find fault with others without checking inward first. So I would just say, just stop for a moment and just check that you're not the toxic one. Once you've figured out that you are not, this is the next step. Know that you are not alone. It happens. It's a fact of life because we can't choose our family, right? Yeah. So you are not alone. And I think it's very important to know. People have dealt with this and lived through this before, long before you were alive and born, and they will still live with this long after you are dead and buried. You are not alone. People can rise above this. You can rise above this. You can deal with this. I am going to tell you how right now. First and foremost, we are assigned roles when we are young and still babies or at school, different roles in the family. It just kind of happens, right? The one is the carer. Then there's a sick one in the family. And then there's the rebel. And then there's the brilliant one, the perfect one. So the key is to, when you are an adult, to be the older and wiser version of yourself when you are in the company of your toxic family members. So what I'm saying here is, don't go back to that role that you were assigned when you were younger or a child. So don't go back to, yes, I'm the baby of the family. So then you allow them to treat you like the baby of the family. And that's where the toxicity comes in, because they don't realize or recognize the fact that you've grown up and things have changed. So when you step right back into that role, it's almost like you're giving them permission to treat you with disdain or the bad or the negative treatment that you don't like, that is toxic according to you. So step out of that role you had when you were little, or when you were young, or when you were assigned that role, or when you assigned yourself that role. You don't want to be that anymore. And you just need to step out of it in your head. And then they will pick up on your attitude and your mental shift very quickly. So that would be the first thing to do. Then also, don't buy into the guilt trips, the insults, the negativity. What I mean is, don't let it in. You not letting the negativity or the insults or the guilt trips in is a conscious decision. You need to make that conscious decision. You say to yourself, I'm immune to these comments. I am immune to these behaviors. You say to yourself, I have phenomenal coping skills. I'm studying rapid transformational therapy at the moment with a brilliant woman in England, Marissa Peer. And this is her big slogan, or one of her big slogans, and one of her affirmation. No, it's so much more than an affirmation. It's one of the ways to rewire your brain is by telling yourself over and over again, I have phenomenal coping skills. And then another one of Marissa's beautiful sayings that is absolutely, you cannot fault this. Your brain, your mind cannot fault this. I am enough. I am enough. If you say that to yourself. And she says, and I'm a big advocate of this, when you're in the shower, say to yourself, I am enough. I am enough. When you're brushing your teeth, I am enough. When you're driving in your car, I am enough. I have phenomenal coping skills when you're brushing your teeth, when you're in the shower, when you're driving your car, when you're walking to your car, when you're walking from your car. I have phenomenal coping skills. Say it to yourself. Rewire your brain. And that way you are able to not let the guilt trips and the insults and the negativity, do not let it in. You don't necessarily have to tell people that you are not letting it in. Maybe you want to, but it's not always possible to look at the toxic family member and say, listen, you can say whatever you want to say, I'm not letting it in. It's not necessary that they know. You can if you want to and if you have the opportunity, but it's not necessary for them to know. It's necessary for you to know. I am not letting this in. I have phenomenal coping skills. I am enough. Whatever they are saying, whatever they are doing is just of no consequence to me because I am not letting it in. You see, you cannot control other people, but you can control yourself. You can't control your emotions, but you can control your thoughts. And we have spoken about this at length on various occasions in the past. You shouldn't try and control your emotions. It's not possible. If you're sad, you're sad. If you're happy, you're happy. But you can control the thoughts that lead to the emotions. So whatever thoughts you have, they will determine the emotions you have. So if your thought is, I am not letting this in, I am not opening myself up to this, I'm not even going to give this, that, or the other a second thought. I have phenomenal coping skills and I am enough. I don't have to let this in. I don't have to let it affect me. Then you are regulating your thoughts, and those will immediately regulate your emotions, all naturally and all by itself, because that's the way that human beings were created. And in that way, you're going to just make your life so much easier for yourself. And then, Eon, I just in conclusion, just want to say this one sentence, that sometimes, just sometimes, you need to love people from a distance, even family members. Yeah. So if you find that you really actually you're not coping and it's affecting your children or your partner or boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife negatively, and it's just ruining your life, then maybe you should love these people from a distance. But that's going to be your last option. I don't like when family members are not speaking to each other. Our family is very special. Look, you get the odd, like seriously, like no kind of person, like honestly, no. But that's very few and far between. So I always say, and I believe that family should stick together as far as humanly possible. Sometimes it's not possible, and then you love them from a distance. Yeah. So I really think if you rewire your brain the way I explained, you can deal with this. You can do this. You have phenomenal coping skills, and you are enough.
Love it. Heidi, thank you so much. Yeah, we've got to work on what we can control. I mean, we can't control everything, and that's just one of them.
That's it.
Thank you so much as
That's
always,
it.
Heidi. How do we get in touch with you and follow you on social media?
It's my biggest pleasure. Please pop in on Facebook at Greatness Coaching with Heidi M, and then on Instagram at Greatness Coaching. I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
And I'm looking forward to chatting to you again next week, Wednesday at 2 o'clock. And it's also available as a podcast on eradiosa.com. Next week, a very interesting topic as well. I suspect my partner is cheating. What do I do? Sure.
Yes.
That's going to be interesting.
There we go. Yes, absolutely. And I'll speak to you then. I'll bring some knowledge and information and tips and help. Okay.
Looking forward to it. Heidi, as always, thanks so much.
Cheers. Bye.